How's it going, folks? Welcome to what is sure to be another fun at-home table read. Tonight we are doing the movie that would become Scary Movie. Although this draft, it is now known as Scream If You Know What I Did Last Halloween. I'm really excited for this one. Actually, curious more like. I love the original Scary Movie, and I'm curious to see how this could have led to it. But we have a fantastic cast here tonight. So let's jump right into introducing ourselves. I'm Logan. I'm going to be doing action description.
Hi, I'm Mary. I'll be playing Cindy.
Hi, Nicole. I'll be Buffy.
I'm Erik. I'll be Quentin.
Hello, I'm George. I'll be Skeet.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'll be Jake.
And Travis will be joining us later. He will be Sheriff Duty. Well, away we go. Scream If You Know What I Did Last Halloween by Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer. Interior modest home night. A dark and spooky night. The place is decorated for Halloween. Jack-o'-lanterns, orange and black streamers, human heads on sticks. Cindy, our heroine, 17 and pretty in a Nev Campbell, Jennifer Love Hewitt way. Fuck it. Just picture any party of five type. Talks on the cordless phone while watching Halloween on TV.
Okay, so pick me up in 10?
Click. In the kitchen, she opens the pantry, rummaging for a snack. We feature several frightening food products, Count Chocula and Frankenberry cereal, and Devil's Food Cake. She grabs a tin skillet of Jiffy Pop popcorn and puts it on the lit stove. The phone rings.
Hello?
Hello, Cindy.
Quentin?
It's not Quentin. Ding dong. The doorbell chimes. She walks to the front door and opens it to reveal 4 children in Halloween costumes.
Trick or treat!
Kids? Gee, don't you all look scary. Jake, is that you?
Distracted, she reaches for a bowl of candy, but instead grabs the other items on the table, bottles of liquor, marijuana joints, and hypodermic needles. Wrong again. She dumps the narcotics and booze into their candy bags.
Have a safe Halloween.
She closes the door on the surprised toddlers.
Who is this?
You have a sexy voice. It's too bad your boyfriend left you all alone on Halloween. Through the window, we feature the children, now gleefully swigging the booze, smoking the joint, and shooting the smack.
Y'all know whoever this is, fuck off. Loser.
In the kitchen, the tin skillet expands with the popping corn, finally bursting open. Pop, ping, bang. Kernels shoot through the kitchen, smashing plates and shattering glasses. The phone rings again. Cindy eyes the phone, getting a little freaked. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Don't ever do that to me again, bitch.
Who is this? What do you want?
I just want to talk. You look good in that tight blue sweater. Cindy clicks off as she looks down in horror at her tight blue sweater. Whoever's on the line can see her. Scary music up. We follow Cindy as she rushes through the house, shutting the curtains and blinds. With every step, the tension mounts. Crash. A man jumps through the window. It's Freddy Krueger. Freddy raises his razor-sharp hand, stops in mid-slice.
Wait, this isn't Elm Street?
No, it's Maple.
Christ. It always happens. It's like forgetting where you parked at the mall. It all looks the same. You give me directions.
Right at Oak, left at Sycamore.
I'm sorry about the window. I'll have my insurance adjuster come by in the morning.
He exits. The phone rings again. She eyes it with trepidation. Ring, ring, ring. She picks up.
Hello?
You have a collect call from...
Homicidal maniac.
Will you accept the charges?
No!
She smashes the phone to pieces. A beat. Ring, ring. Her cell phone rings. She answers. Cindy?
Leave me alone.
Not until you answer some questions. Miss one, and you die.
Why are you doing this to me?
I'm asking the questions. What is your favorite teen horror movie? She nervously bites her fingernails, then spits them out.
That one where the girl gets harassed on the phone. You know, the one with the chubby alcoholic girl who was in E.T.
A beat. Next question.
No.
She now nervously bites her toenails, spitting them out. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. What is it? She sinks to her knees in terror, trembling.
76?
Lucky guess. Behind her, we see her neglected popcorn is now on fire and billowing smoke. Shriek, shriek, the smoke detector sounds, adding to Cindy's confusion and terror. Last question. Tears well in her eyes, and a giant snot bubble gurgles out of her nostril. She is terrified. Do you wipe up or down?
Please. No.
Up or down? Sorry, Cindy, you lose. The answer was down.
My friend's gonna be here any second. He'll kick your ass.
You mean him? The lights go on in the backyard, revealing a bloodied and dead teenage boy strapped to a chair a la Scream. The scary voice cackles. Cindy squints at the boy through the sliding glass door.
That's not my boyfriend. We went out like twice.
The scary voice stops cackling. Oh. The backyard lights turn off.
I'm calling the cops.
You might want to check the back door first. You forgot to lock it. She screams and drops the phone in horror. She races to the back door. From outside, we see a shadowy figure also running to the back door. At the back door, she gets there one step ahead of the shadowy figure and locks it, then chains it, then puts the club over the doorknob. Cindy backs away from the door in terror. The figure disappears. The tension mounts. Ding dong. The doorbell. Cindy is frozen in fear. Who is it? She punches 911 on her cordless, then puts the receiver to her ear. Aren't you gonna answer the door?
Please. Stop.
What's the matter, Cindy? Not having fun anymore? Ding dong. Answer it.
No.
Could be your friends. It's been 10 minutes. She moves to the front door slowly, then grabs a baseball bat out of the hall closet.
I'm not afraid of you.
Then open the door. She raises the bat, then closes her eyes and flings the door open. With eyes still closed, she flails away with the bat. Bang, thud, crunch. She connects with several swings. She opens her eyes to see 3 little trick-or-treaters now lying bloody and beaten on the front porch. She apologetically tosses the children candy, which only lands uselessly next to their broken arms. The children groan in pain as she closes the door.
I can't feel my legs.
Inside, Cindy opens the door. As she turns, we see the killer right behind her. The killer has on a black cloak and a white mask, a la Scream, except his mask is Casper the Friendly Ghost. He raises a wicked-looking knife and creeps up behind her. Hello, Cindy. Cindy freezes in her tracks. It's the same scary voice from the phone. She turns to see the killer and screams. The killer lunges at her and stabs her twice in the chest. Pop, pop. Her breasts pop like balloons and then deflate. Implants. The killer raises the knife again. Cindy shrieks in terror. Suddenly, Cindy's 200-pound St. Bernard Cujo comes scampering out from behind. Before the killer can strike, Cujo jumps and knocks him to the ground.
Boy, Cujo.
Cujo proceeds to pin the killer down and vigorously hump his leg. She uses the distraction to dash out the front door. Outside, Cindy races down the steps, stepping onto the beaten children who yelp in pain.
Someone get me some morphine.
Cindy runs into the street just as her friends pull up in their red 57 Cadillac convertible. Her friends are Skeet, Jake, Buffy, and Quentin. Cindy jumps into the passenger seat.
What's wrong?
Go! Just drive! Get out of here!
Skeet puts it in gear and peels it down the road. As they drive off, we see the caddy's personalized license plate. Christine. Cut to exterior dark and windy road night. The 5 teens drive down the highway. We now feature our ensemble cast. Skeet, Cindy's boyfriend, good-looking, cool, and brooding in a Skeet Ulrich way. Jake, all-American looks, muscular, gung-ho jock. Buffy, the it girl, extremely sexy, beautiful, and popular. Quentin, freckle-faced, spiky-haired video store geek. Buffy is in the back seat between Quentin and Jake. Skeet drives as Cindy tries to call the cops on her cell phone.
Still no signal.
It's the canyons. The satellite signals bounce off the walls, which
Wonder much why you don't get laid? Save the tech lingo for your video clerk friends. Sydney needs 50, not the 411.
Yeah, douchebag.
Punches Quentin in the arm.
ow.
Skeet puts an arm around Cindy.
Relax. The station's just down the road. Everything will be okay.
Skeet takes his eyes off the road as they pass a sign reading, Deer Crossing. Smack! Thud! Unbeknownst to the teens, the caddy hits several deer. They travel on, now with antlers stuck in the grill.
Excuse me for being the voice of reason, but won't your dad be upset to find a knife-wielding maniac in your house?
He's out of town.
They pass a sign reading, Handicap Crossing. A group of senior citizens try to cross the road on their walkers and wheelchairs. The caddy zooms up, and the seniors scream and leap out of the way. Several of the senior citizens flip them the finger. The oblivious teens travel by, now with a wheelchair dragging behind them. Back in the car, there's a long, awkward silence.
Okay, well, if nobody's gonna say it, I will. Cindy, don't you find it kind of like ironic that exactly 1 year ago tonight your mom was killed and now someone's trying to kill you?
They pass a sign reading, Men at Work. The band Men at Work stand on the shoulder, playing music.
I come from a land down under.
Back in the car.
Are you saying that this had something to do with my mom's murder? That guy's locked up in a loony bin for life.
Well, you have to admit.
Come on, Buffy. You know she doesn't want to talk about it.
They go around a bend.
Almost there.
Suddenly, standing in the middle of the road, the killer appears. He raises his knife, glinting in the moonlight.
Oh my God.
It's him.
Skeet slams on the brakes, but there's no time. Smack! They hit the killer, catapulting him high into the air.
Oh, shit.
On the killer, soaring in midair from the collision. He tucks his legs underneath him and does an acrobatic somersault, then twists like a gymnast. Back in the car, the teens hold up scorecards. 8.5, 9, 8, 10, 9.5. Finally, the killer lands with a sickly thud. Bam! The skidding car hits him again, this time dragging him under the chassis. They drive over several different terrains, speed bumps, road flares, and hot asphalt. They finally come to a stop. Skeet throws it into reverse and backs up over the killer, dislodging him from the axle. The teens get slowly out of the car, terror on all of their faces. The car's headlights illuminate the killer's listless body in the middle of the road.
Came out of nowhere.
Is he dead?
The killer squirms in pain.
He's alive.
In the car, the parking brake gives, causing the car to roll forward.
Watch out!
They scatter as the car rolls over the killer's body. Crunch. The car rolls to a stop against the shoulder. The teens gather around the killer's body in fear. Jake pokes tentatively at the body with a stick. No movement. He discards the stick and kicks the killer in the balls. Still no response.
He's dead.
The teens look at each other in dread as this sinks in.
What are we gonna do?
Well, we've got to go to the police. They'll understand. It was an accident.
Just a legal note here, Cindy. This guy just tried to kill you, then you accidentally run over him. Nobody's gonna buy that.
There's alcohol all over the car.
We're all gonna fry.
We've got to get rid of the body.
Jake grabs the body by the legs and drags it back towards the car, banging the head off of bumps and potholes.
Are you crazy?
Jake's right. Nobody saw anything. No witnesses. Cindy, like this guy tried to you.
I don't know about this.
You have a better idea?
Car is heard approaching.
Someone's coming.
Everybody stares at Cindy.
So what's it gonna be?
Cindy ponders as the Jeopardy theme music's up. Beat.
What is to get rid of the body so we don't go to jail?
As oncoming headlights appear, the teens quickly stuff the body in the trunk. The killer's legs still hang out, so they slam the trunk repeatedly like an overstuffed suitcase. Brunch. The teens hop in to drive off just before the oncoming car reaches them. Cut to exterior beach late night. The teens huddle around a bonfire in this deserted stretch of sand. Buffy roasts a marshmallow on a stick over the flames. Next to her, Jake roasts 2 whole rotisserie chickens on a skewer. Skeet keeps an arm around Cindy, trying to comfort her.
Fire's going out.
Got it.
Jake gets up and grabs a piece of wood. Before he throws it on the embers, he spots a baby seal beached on the shoreline. The cute baby seal tries to make its way back to the surf.
Arf! Arf!
Thwack! Jake clubs the seal in the head with the piece of wood.
I'm not sure what we're doing is right.
Whack! He gives the seal 2 more whacks about the cranium.
Ugh. I consider myself a moralistic person.
Whack!
I go to church. I even donate my time to the Human Society.
Hurry up already, I'm getting cold.
Whack! Jake finally delivers the fatal club, then drags the dead seal over and tosses it onto the fire. Whoosh! The seal reignites the fire, and all the teens warm their hands on the flames. Quentin stands and paces excitedly.
Hello? Doesn't anyone see what's going on here? The attempt on Sydney, the anniversary of her mother's death, and now this?
Get to the point, retardo Montalban.
Jake munches on roasted seal paw.
Roast chicken.
This is all the makings of a classic teen horror movie. A low-budget scream fest aimed at cashing in on the youth market, filled with all your typical high school archetypes and a loud, edgy soundtrack.
Skeet whips out a boombox, which blasts 9-inch nails.
We've got the jock, Jake, a win-at-all-costs beer-guzzling womanizer. Yet under his macho facade lies a penchant for tutus and dreams of the Joffrey Ballet.
On Jake, who's now wearing a pink tutu and tights as he pirouettes on his tiptoes.
I guess that makes you the wisecracking know-it-all dork. You secretly lust for Cindy, causing you to masturbate 3 times a day, 4 on the weekends, mixing in the occasional autoerotic asphyxiation fetish.
On Quentin, now wearing a plastic bag over his head, trying to suffocate himself.
Then there's Buffy, the prom queen. Beautiful, seductive. Her measurements are 36, 24, 34.
On Buffy, who stands in a negligee and poses for a photographer.
Shallow, utterly self-centered. Her turn-ons include freshwater eels and the cold sting of an Icelandic bidet.
Buffy rejoins the group.
Cindy, the girl next door. Pretty, smart, kind, and alas, a virgin. A screwed up head case who hasn't gotten over her mom's brutal murder, and the only one who will probably make it to the sequel.
On Cindy, who lounges in a director's chair reading the script entitled Scream If You Know What I Did Last Halloween, Part 2.
Then finally, there's my boyfriend Skeet. So perfect, so cute. My little snooky wookie, my little honey bunny, my little snuggy wuggy.
The other teens grab barf bags and vomit into them from her sugary nicknames.
Sun's coming up. We better do this.
Cut to exterior fishing docks pre-dawn. A sign reads, Dawson's River. The 5 teens drag the body to the edge of the docks, then set it down. They stand over it in frightened awe, staring at the ominous black cloak and Casper mask.
We all have to swear to never tell anyone what happened.
They look at each other apprehensively.
Swear. Each of you. Swear!
A tense beat.
Shit.
Fuck.
Cocksucker.
They all turn to Cindy, who hesitates.
Cindy, you have to swear.
Come on, Cindy. Swear.
Motherfucking titty sucking tubo bitch.
They all nod solemnly, then start to push the body over the edge.
Wait, don't you want to see who it is?
No, leave the mask on. The face of my mother's killer haunts me every day.
She whips out a framed picture of her mom's killer, shudders, then puts it away.
I can't take another.
They nod, then push the body over. Splash. Underwater. We follow the body as it sinks to the bottom of the river. It comes to rest next to a Leonardo DiCaprio lookalike who's clutching a blue pendant. Fade out.
Oh.
Superimposed 1 year later. Fade up. Interior Cindy's kitchen morning. Cindy sits at the breakfast table as her father, Mr. Campbell, stands over the stove cooking her breakfast. He cracks a few eggs into a frying pan as the news drones on in the background TV. Several suitcases and an airline ticket are by the door.
How long will you be gone?
He opens a jar of pig's feet and dumps them into the eggs. Just a couple of nights. He unwraps butcher's paper, revealing a cow tongue. He dumps that in also, folding the ingredients into the omelet. He flips up the omelet. Another one of these damn conventions. We're previewing the spring line. He goes over to his briefcase and puts away the last of his samples, which are women's cosmetics, lipstick, eyeliner, mascara, etc.
Get it.
Broom. A monster. Oh. Apparently there's a lot of pages missing there. I'm realizing we're going from page 19 to page 34 internally. Here, hold on.
Dad, you're always working.
I know, honey, but being an Avon lady ain't what it used to be. Sizzle. The omelet finally lands in the skillet. It's ready. He flings the omelet through the air at her like a fishmonger throws a fish. She catches it in midair and puts it on her plate.
Mom's recipe.
They look at each other and tears well in their eyes. He goes to hug her.
Oh, Dad. I just wish she was still here.
I miss her too. But we'll always have her. Bones. We pan to the corner where Mrs. Campbell's skeleton hangs on an anatomical stand. Her skeleton wears an apron labeled Supermom. Sure you're gonna be okay?
Don't worry about me. What could possibly happen?
He gives her a peck on the cheek, then exits. Cindy turns her attention to the TV. On the TV, a Courtney Cox-type tabloid reporter named Courtney Cox does a remote broadcast in front of a mental hospital.
This is Courtney Cox coming to you live from Bellevue Mental Hospital, where, due to budgetary cutbacks, all inmates are being released.
Oh my Lord.
We pan to the couch where Jesus Christ sits smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Back to the TV. As Courtney reports, we see Ted Kaczynski and Hannibal Lecter walk past her. Courtney eagerly approaches them for a statement.
Unabomber and Hannibal the Cannibal, you've just been released from the insane asylum. What are you going to do next?
We're going to Disneyland.
We're going to Disneyland.
Cindy watches the TV in horror as her mother's killer, Cotton Blend, is also let free.
And here comes Bellevue's most infamous patient, Cotton Blend, convicted murderer of Joan Campbell.
Cotton puts his hand over the camera, partially blocking his face. Cindy gasps, then whips out a framed picture she keeps of Cotton. On the framed picture, Cotton also has his hand in front of the lens in the photo, just like on the TV. Courtney rushes to Cotton, and we finally get a glimpse of him. Late 30s, stubble-faced dirtbag.
Cotton, you have your freedom. Will you now try to seek closure by killing your victim's daughter, Cindy Campbell?
No comment. Cotton throws his jacket over his head to shield himself from the glaring media crush. He gets into his car, still with his jacket over his head, and drives off. Off-screen, we hear swerve, crash, crunch. Cut to exterior, Kevin Williamson High School, morning. Cindy parks her car in student parking, then exits. As she strides through the parking lot, she passes faculty parking, then finally tabloid reporter parking. A swarm of reporters and cameramen get out of the news vans. Among them is Geraldo Rivera, Jerry Springer, and Stuttering John. They spot Cindy and converge on her, shoving microphones and cameras into her face.
Cindy, can you give us a statement?
How's it feel knowing your mom's killer is on the loose? Talk to us, Cindy.
No comment.
He continued to swarm her with questions. She squints through the popping flashbulbs. She tries to walk past them, but they block her way.
I said no comments.
Smack! Cindy karate chops her reporter to the ground. Pow! There's a spinning back kick to another. She whips out a pair of nunchucks and proceeds to whack reporters with them. Does a backflip, then delivers a scissor kick to a photographer's neck. Crunch. She steps over a heap of beaten and groaning reporters and cameramen. As she walks to the front steps of the school, tabloid reporter Courtney Cox and her cameraman step into her path. Cindy instantly recognizes Courtney and smolders with hatred.
Cindy, how about you giving me a statement?
She puts a microphone into Cindy's face. A small crowd of students gather around, including Skeet, who stands protectively next to Cindy.
Why should I talk to you?
Look, just because I sold a made-for-TV movie, 2 bestsellers, and an infomercial about your mom's murder, it doesn't make me a villain. Actually, it does. You think? Mm-hmm.
He nods yes. Courtney looks at the crowd of students, who also nod yes.
I found the Broadway play particularly offensive.
Yeah, it was overbearing and shoddily choreographed at best.
Anywho, Cindy, aren't you scared Cotton will come back for you?
A beat.
You want a story?
She rears back and punches Courtney in the face. She then wrenches the camera away from the cameraman.
I'll give you a story.
Smack! Crunch! She bashes Courtney over the head, breaking the camera and knocking Courtney out. Sheriff Duty, a David Arquette type, breaks up the fight.
Break it up, that's enough.
Skeet puts an arms around Cindy to calm her.
I'm very disappointed.
Sorry, Sheriff Duty.
Why don't you kids get to class?
Cindy and the rest of the students disperse to school. Behind Sheriff Duty, Courtney rises to her wobbly feet, looking dazed.
Violence never solves anything.
He gestures to his police baton, to emphasize his point.
We talk things out.
Whack! He unknowingly smacks Courtney over the kneecaps. She doubles over, moaning in pain.
Without using our fists.
Whack! He unknowingly smacks her in the face, knocking her out again. Cut to interior school hallway. Day. Students crowd the hallway, talking and laughing with each other. A banner on one wall reads, Annual Halloween Party, 1 week away. Another banner reads, Heroin Safety Assembly, how to hide your tracks. Skeet walks Cindy to class.
You okay?
I'll be all right.
The bell rings. Principal Fonzy comes down the hall, speaking into a megaphone. Everyone back to class. Come on, people, now. Skeet gives Cindy a quick kiss.
Meet me at the quad after bio.
He exits. Cindy ducks into the women's restroom. In the bathroom, Cindy stands at the mirror. She takes a hard look at herself.
You've got to be strong. You've got to be a survivor.
2 cheerleaders, each sitting on the toilet in adjacent stalls, are unaware of Cindy's presence.
Did you check out Cindy Campbell chick this morning? She's so creepy.
Cindy overhears them, becoming visibly upset.
I know.
Fart, fart. The cheerleaders let a few rip.
Every time I pass her in the hall, she fully weirds me out.
Shit, plop, splash. The cheerleaders move their bowels.
Everyone thinks she's a Lynn.
Spray, splatter. One of the cheerleaders has the runs.
She's probably mental.
Tears well in Cindy's eyes from their harsh words and odors. She rushes out of the bathroom. In the hallway, Principal Fonzy spots the tearful Cindy exiting the bathroom.
Principal Fonzy?
What's wrong, Cindy?
It's nothing. Really?
That's okay, Cindy. I think I know what's troubling you.
You do?
Yes, a woman's menstrual cycle is a very personal and private matter. Cindy looks around to see a few students now peeking their heads out of the classroom doors to gawk at her. The dropping of her egg and the subsequent blood flow can leave a girl with many questions about her body. Cindy slinks off in the hall as Principal Fonzy wheels around to the gawking students. Everyone back to class. Cindy's period doesn't concern you. Cut to interior Cindy's bedroom night. Cindy, wearing a nightgown, sits on her bed studying. Outside, Skeet stands in the front lawn looking up at her bedroom window.
Cindy! Cindy!
No response. He picks up a pebble and throws it at her window. Tink! The pebble bounces off the window. There's still no response.
Cindy!
He picks up a rock and throws it at the window. Thud! Still no response.
Cindy!
Finally, he wheels over a medieval catapult with a boulder loaded into it. He cuts the catapult release cord. Whoosh! The boulder hurtles through the air. Smash! The boulder crashes through the entire window frame. In Cindy's bedroom, she is oblivious to the boulder that's crashed into her room. A moment later, Skeet climbs in through the window.
Skeet, you scared me. Don't worry, my dad's out of town.
That's strange. Your dad's always out of town. Hey, what happened? Why didn't you meet me at the quad?
He looks away.
Do you think I'm a psycho?
He crosses his fingers behind his back.
No, of course not. You gotta relax. You trust me, don't you?
He kisses her gently.
I do.
He sweeps her in and they kiss passionately. A beat. He slowly lifts the shoulder strap of her nightgown and runs his fingers sensuously through her back hair. He whispers softly into her ear.
Your hair's so soft and silky smooth. What do you use?
Pantene Pro V formula. It's 2-in-1. A shampoo plus conditioner.
He lays her down in bed as they continue kissing. He raises her nightgown and looks down.
That's some camel toe.
Thanks.
He reaches past her to the nightstand and holds up an actual severed stuffed camel's toe.
My dad got it in Egypt.
He replaces the foot and strips down to his boxers. They continue making out and he raises her nightgown further to reveal her panties. Close on Cindy's panties. Instead of elastic, tiny barbed wire runs along the perimeter. There's also a zapping electrified fence and a sign reading, "No trespassing."
I don't know if I can take this anymore. I mean, we've been going out since we were freshmen.
I'm just not ready.
Frustrated, he gets out of bed wearing only his boxers. He grabs a marker and goes to the mirror. Like Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, he solves complex math equations on the mirror.
Skeet, you always solve complex mathematical equations when you get upset. Just talk to me.
Skeet erases the equation, then draws a picture of an eye. Now they play Pictionary. He draws furiously as she tries to decipher his message.
What is that? An eye? Oh, I want. I want.
Draws a 2.
I want to.
Draws a brake pedal.
I want to break.
Draws an up arrow.
I want to break up.
His Pictionary message sets in.
You want to break up with me?
He doesn't answer. A beat.
I promise. I'll come around. You just have to give me a little more time.
He takes his finger and puts it into her mouth. She takes his finger and puts it into her mouth, sucking slowly on it. He takes his finger out of her mouth, and it's now 3 times its normal size and throbbing. Cut to interior high school day. A banner reads Annual Halloween Party, 4 days away. Cindy walks down the crowded hallway in her locker. She opens it to reveal her locker is decorated with beefcake teen heartthrob photos. Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Bill Clinton. She finds a note inside. The note reads, "I know what you did last Halloween." She gasps, completely freaked.
I have to tell the others.
Cut to interior boys' locker room day. The football team is gearing up for practice. As they strip down, we focus on several naked butts. First, a muscular butt, then a tanned bikini-lined butt, then an ultra-fat butt with crack hair and pimples. On Jake's locker, he opens it to reveal what looks like a medicine chest, bottles of every known prescription. He looks around to make sure no one's watching, then grabs a syringe and fills it from a vial labeled steroids. He plunges the needle into his arm, and immediately his biceps swell to twice their size. Then he grabs Rogaine, rubs it into his scalp. Finally, he grabs a bottle of mesanguinal disposable douche and holds it up.
For days when I'm not just feeling my freshest.
He lowers the douche between his legs as we cut to exterior football field day. As the players come out of the locker room for practice, Cindy looks for Jake. He comes out all suited up.
Jake.
What do you want? I got practice.
He shows him the note.
What do you make of this?
8.5 by 11, college ruled, 3-hole punch. This is horrifying.
Now read it.
As he turns the note over and reads, his face goes white with terror. Cut to interior school auditorium day. A banner reads Homecoming Queen Pageant. The seats are filled with students. On stage, a dozen teenage girls, including Buffy, stand in front of the audience. Principal Fonzy addresses the crowd from the podium. That concludes the bathing suit part of the competition. We feature Cindy in the crowd, anxiously awaiting to talk to Buffy. Our judges have narrowed it down to 3 finalists. At the judges' table, the judges are Judge Judy, Judge Wapner, and Judge Reinhold. They hand a card to Principal Fonzy. And our 3 finalists are Danielle, Heather, and Buffy. Buffy, Heather, and Danielle hug each other as excitedly as the other contestants exit the stage to applause. Now for the talent portion of our competition. Buffy, Heather, and Danielle exit to change. First up is Heather, who will juggle for us. Heather strides out onto the stage carrying juggling balls. She juggles the balls as a stagehand stands by. The stagehand tosses her an apple, which she incorporates into her juggling, biting the apple as she juggles. Then he tosses a chainsaw, a blowtorch, and finally a poodle. She incorporates all of them into her juggling. She finishes to polite applause. Thank you, Heather. Danielle strides on stage, dragging a bag of nails with her. A bed of nails with her. She lays down in the bed of nails.
Oh, it broke.
Hit it.
Vroom! A monster truck drives up from the wings and rolls over Danielle. She gets up, unhurt, and now sporting a tire track across her face. She bows to stronger applause. Thank you, Danielle. Backstage, Cindy approaches Buffy, who waits to go on stage.
Buffy, we have to talk.
Does Cindy? Can't you see I'm in the middle of something really important?
Cindy shows the note and Buffy gasps in terror.
Oh, shit.
Meet me at the swim gym after school.
Buffy will have to do something pretty spectacular to top our first 2 finalists. Buffy strides to center stage and whips out a 24-inch Polish sausage. A drum roll sounds as the spotlight hits her. She takes the sausage and slowly deep throats it, swallowing the entire thing. She takes it slowly out of her mouth. Every male in the audience rises and gives her a standing ovation. On the judges, they nod to each other, impressed. Cut to interior school auto shop day. Skeet and the other 4 other students huddle under the hood of a car working on the engine. The shop teacher hobbles over, sporting an eye patch and a prosthetic arm.
Skeet, you have a visitor.
Skeet looks up to see Cindy in the doorway.
Everyone remember, safety first.
Skeet grabs his jacket, unknowingly yanking a lever, which drops an engine block from a pulley. Crunch! The engine block hits 2 students, knocking them senseless.
Oh. Ow.
Skeet makes his way to Cindy. He unknowingly steps on a tire jack, depressing it. Boom! The car flattens the students lying underneath it. His protruding legs convulse in pain.
Help!
Skeet passes the shop teacher, who glares into the eye of a power drill trying to fix it. As Skeet continues, he spots the unplugged drill cord.
Someone could trip over this.
Plugs it into the wall. Whirr! Behind him, we see the shop teacher drill into his own eye, which spurts blood.
Oh, my good eye!
Skeet reaches Cindy.
Cindy, I can't hear you. You're muted, Cindy.
My God, that's why.
Yeah.
Skeet, I
know. I got one too.
Cut to interior video store day. Quentin is in the porno section holding up a tape and giving a review on the latest release.
recommend RoboCop 4. It's got it all. Girl on Girl 69, two-headed dildos, golden shower.
You pan down to reveal he's talking to two little old ladies. Well, I felt it paled in comparison to the first three, but I did like Forrest Pump. The cock sandwich scene was particularly arousing, and Jenny, Jenny really knows how to fuck.
Oh, yeah. Nobody touched in the ass like her.
Oh, hey, that's why it's a classic.
He looks up to see Cindy enter. She gives him a grave look. Cut to interior school swim gym school swim gym day. Cindy, Skeet, Buffy, Jake, and Quentin huddle together in the bleachers. Behind them, we see the swim team practicing their dives.
Somebody knows.
Bullshit. Someone's just trying to fuck with us.
It's probably you, Mr. Izzy Fist. And you couldn't keep your big mouth shut.
Yeah, douchebag.
He punches Quentin in the arm.
Ow, it wasn't me.
In the background, we see two male divers walk by wearing thong bikinis.
Then who was it?
Maybe it's Cotton Blend.
Everyone gasps in horror.
Well, it could be, but he's an obvious choice. Like, what if it's not him? I mean, what if someone saw us that night?
What are you trying to say?
In the pool, we see a swimmer emit a cloud of purple dye from his suit. He peed in the water.
Oh. Could be anyone. It could be you. Could be me. Could be her. Could be him. But it could be that fat guy over there on the trampoline.
We pan to a corner where a fat guy wearing boxers bounces on a trampoline. The fat guy waves as he bounces.
It could be.
Slap. Jake bitch slaps Quentin across the face, leaving a red handprint on his cheek.
I don't buy any of this. It's just a prank. And all you better keep quiet about what happened last Halloween.
Jake walks on.
What are we supposed to do now?
We wait.
Cut to interior Cindy's bedroom, midnight. Cindy tosses and turns in her sleep in the midst of an obvious bad dream. Suddenly, two hands grab her, startling her awake. She screams in terror. She sits up and turns on her nightstand, revealing her father.
Dad!
It's okay, honey. You were having another one of your nightmares, but I'm here now.
When did you get home?
A few hours ago, I didn't want to wake you. You look so peaceful sleeping, but you could use some blush.
He takes out his Avon makeup kit and brushes rouge onto her cheeks.
Cindy, what's wrong?
Nothing.
He continues making her over, putting false eyelashes on her.
Come on, you know you can't tell your old man anything.
He wants to talk, or she wants to talk, but holds back.
Just high school stuff, Dad.
Okay, I understand.
He now rolls her hair in curlers with fatherly tenderness.
Because I definitely know how to do that. Say, did I ever tell you about the day you were born?
She shakes her head no, then puts her head on the pillow to hear his bedtime story.
I remember like it was yesterday. You almost didn't make it.
He applies a mud mask over her face.
They were at the abortion clinic. The physician's assistant vacuumed and scraped you out of your mother, then tossed you in the garbage with the other fetuses. But the doctor noticed that your heart was still beating, so we got shafted on the whole third trimester thing. Then we took you home and named you Cindy after your grandmother, Diane.
She closes her eyes and smiles peacefully as he waxes her mustache.
Thanks, Dad.
We now see she is heavily made up, looking like Tammy Faye Baker.
Good night, pumpkin.
Cut to interior school gym night. Jake pumps iron in the deserted weight room. He turns his Walkman up and we hear Hanson's bop over his headphones. He bops his head to the music. In the lockers, a shadowy figure enters and opens Jake's locker. We close on the figure's black-gloved hand, which switches Jake's steroid vial with a vial labeled estrogen. The shadowy figure exits. A moment later, Jake enters. Jake takes the needle, fills it from the switched vial, then plunges it into his arm. Back in the gym, Jake resumes his workout, curling dumbbells. Suddenly, his chest swells.
What the?
His chest continues to swell. He's developing tits. He rushes to the mirror, whips off his shirt, and gasps. Jake now has a pair of 38 double D women's breasts.
No!
Cut to interior video store at night. Quentin lets out the last customer, then locks the door and hangs the close sign. He turns off the lights and walks into the back room. In the back room, Quentin enters and claps on the lights, which transform the room into a porno haven. A disco ball and red light illuminate the room as a heart-shaped Murphy bed folds down from the wall. The song I Touch Myself by Divinal's up. The shelf flips over, revealing zebra and leopard skin walls. Tacked to the doors are nudie centerfold pictures of Quentin's favorites, Captain Picard, Bill Gates, and Martha Stewart. Quentin grabs a video and sticks it into the VCR. The cover of the video reads, Shaving Ryan's Privates. We hear the sound of people moaning and jazzy porno music from the TV. Quentin pulls his pants down and starts jacking off to the porno and centerfolds.
Oh yeah, take that, Martha Stewart.
He uses the penis pump, then a dustbuster, then grabs a gerbil and smiles lustfully. He reaches for the nearby jar of Vaseline, scoops a big dollop of goo, and spreads it on his dick. Splurp, splurp, splurp. Jacks off with the Vaseline. A frown slowly creeps across his face. He looks down at his crotch in pain. He grabs a jar of Vaseline and examines it to find it's actually a jar of Bengay deep heating rub. Somebody scratched off the label to sabotage him. As smoke emanates from his crotch, he hops around the room, fanning himself in pain. Cut to interior Buffy's bedroom night. Buffy sits at a vanity table, brushing her hair in the mirror.
10,001, 10,002.
Buffy, it's time to go to bed. You've been brushing your hair for hours.
All right, Mom. It's just my hair is so beautiful, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to it. Especially in the next scene.
She gets into bed and turns off the light. Time lapse. Next morning, Buffy yawns and stretches awake, then goes to the mirror. Her POV. Her hair has been cut and styled into a Friends-style shag. She screams in terror.
No! Not the Jennifer Aniston shag! That's so out!
He looks down to see that she's wearing acid-wash jeans.
Acid wash jeans?
He tries desperately to unzip the pants, but the zipper's been rusted shut. She sinks to her knees, sobbing over her outdated look. Cut to interior Cindy's bedroom morning. Cindy wakes slowly. She looks down in shock to see blood on her silk pajamas. She holds her hands up. There's blood on them also. She pulls back the cover slowly, blood everywhere. She sits up and flings the covers aside. The severed head of her dog Cujo lies next to her in bed. Cujo! She pulls back the covers further, revealing a severed dolphin's head. She pulls back the covers further, revealing a severed pig's head. Her screams echo throughout the neighborhood. Cut to interior biology class day. A banner reads, Annual Halloween Party, 3 days away. Panning down the rows of students, we see one dissecting a frog, another dissecting a cat, and another dissecting a human cadaver. We feature Cindy, Skeet, Jake, and Buffy, and Quentin among the students. The bell rings.
Read chapter 13 entitled Chapter 13 for tomorrow.
The teacher and students exit, leaving our cast of teens behind in the empty classroom. All are suffering from the effects of last night's terror. Jake has cleavage, Buffy has a bad hairdo, and Quentin has an ice pack shoved down his pants.
Now do you all believe me?
Yeah, someone definitely knows.
What happened to you, Skeet?
Nothing.
How come you're the only one who wasn't terrorized last night?
They all look at him suspiciously.
What are you trying to say?
It has to be you.
Jake grabs him by the throat and chokes him.
Cindy, tell him it wasn't me.
Cindy only stares at him. Her POV. He has red horns, a pitchfork, and a pointed goatee like Satan.
Where were you last night, Skeet?
Jake finally drops him and he gasps for air.
I told you I was helping my sister with her homework.
But you don't have a sister.
Did I say sister? I meant hamster.
Oh,
Yeah, good enough for me.
I buy it.
That's airtight.
Cindy hugs Skeet.
I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
You know,
It's probably that cotton blend guy.
he couldn't have.
How do you know?
He was 3,000 miles away taping the Courtney Cox show. Well, check this out.
Quentin goes to a nearby TV stand and sticks the video in the VCR. On the TV, a Jerry Springer-style talk show, except with Courtney Cox as the host. The show's theme music plays the Rembrandt's "I'll Be There for You" from the TV show Friends.
Sorry.
Cotton Blend sits on stage in front of a live audience.
If you're just joining us, today's guest is convicted killer Cotton Blend.
The audience applauds.
Cotton, do you have anything to say to the survivors of your victim? What?
Well, what I would say is, yeah, if you're watching out there, I just want to say that I didn't do it. I didn't kill that lady.
On Cindy, watching with utter contempt.
Goddamn liar.
Back on the TV.
And I'm not a goddamn liar. I swear I never slit her jugular with 3 washed off paring knife, draining her blood maliciously into empty claws and kosher pickle jars, then unraveling her intestine and stringing it over the mantle like Christmas lights. I would never do anything like that. I am a pacifist.
He wipes his tears, exposing his forearms, which are tattooed with KKK and Aryan race. On Courtney Cox, also dabbing a tear from her eye.
That is extremely touching.
She recovers, then looks cheerily into the camera.
Now to boost our ratings, some gratuitous violence.
Behind her, we see the audience erupt into an all-out chair-throwing brawl. Kick, punch, smash. It's utter chaos as everyone pummels each other. On Cindy, she turns the TV off in disgust.
If this isn't him, then who's doing this to us?
They ponder a beat.
Maybe it has something to do with the guy we ran over in the first scene of the movie.
Maybe someone saw us.
There was that other car.
Or maybe someone at the docks?
His name was Tom Tingle.
She pulls a newspaper clipping out of her pocket.
I checked the obituaries every day after that night. Some fishermen found his body in their nets 11 days later. Half of him had been consumed by a giant octopus.
She whips out another newspaper clipping, this one with a color photo of a giant octopus and 2 legs sticking out of it.
I think someone's getting revenge for what we did to him.
They're all freaked.
Shit. I knew we should have gone to the cops.
You for real?
Yeah, you wanted to cover up more than anyone.
Me?
They all start to argue violently, pushing and shoving each other. Finally, Cindy cuts through.
I think I know who it is.
They all stop mid-fight, posing in strangle, punching, and kneeing poses.
The paper said his only living relative was his twin brother, Tim Tingle. I did some checking. He works at the Marquee movie theater downtown. I think we should go there. Check it out. See what he knows. Who's with me?
They all look down at their feet, whistling, obviously not wanting to go.
I'll go.
She looks disappointedly at Skeet.
Thanks, Quentin.
Cut to
Stay still.
exterior Marquee movie theater night. The marquee reads, Horror Movie Festival. Inside are teenagers wearing horror costumes wait in line. Inside, Cindy and Quentin stand in the lobby looking around.
Any idea what he looks like?
Receding hairline, beady eyes, buck teeth.
We pan to see she's looking at a picture over a plaque which reads, Tim Tingle, Employee of the Month.
Let's separate.
Good idea. There's safety in numbers.
They separate. Cindy approaches an usher.
Hi. Do you know if Tim is working tonight? I'm his girlfriend and I have something to tell him. Gonorrhea.
The usher takes a step back.
Upstairs in the projection room.
Thanks.
She walks up the staircase. Upstairs, a long, dark hallway leads to the projection room. Cindy, nerves on edge, walks slowly down the hall. Her footsteps creak on the floorboards. Meow! The cat jumps out and startles her. Ah!
Oh, it's just a kitten.
She walks on slowly, completely spooked out. An owl flies by, startling her. She takes a few more tentative steps. Squeak, squeak, squeak. A nest of bats fly around her head, startling her.
Ah!
She rushes down the hall and enters the projection room. In the movie theater, Quentin scans the rows of costumed audience members in the dark theater. He's distracted by the movie on screen, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, my favorite.
He takes a seat and watches the movie. Back in the projection room, Cindy enters to find it deserted. She looks around for clues. She looks at the books on the shelf, Killing on $2 a Day and Blowing Up Bridges of Madison County.
Jesus Christ.
We pan to the corner where Jesus Christ sits smoking a cigarette.
What?
Cindy snoops around, opening filing cabinets, rifling through drawers, and pulling down shelves. Suddenly, she turns to see a Xerox machine in the middle of the room. The Xerox machine is on, spitting out copies that all read, "I know what you did last Halloween." Cindy grabs a flyer, reads it, and drops it in horror. She looks at a nearby table and gasps. On the table are every piece of concession merchandise available: t-shirts, baseball caps, coffee mugs, and balloons, all with the same label, "I know what you did last Halloween."
I have to warn Quentin.
She rushes out. Back on Quentin, still watching Friday the 13th. On screen, we see Jason wearing the trademark hockey mask about to stab a victim.
Ooh, this is the best part.
The guy next to Quentin doesn't respond. Quentin turns to see it's actually the killer wearing the Casper mask sitting next to him. As Quentin screams in terror, so does the audience, reacting to the movie. As Jason stabs the on-screen victim, the killer stabs Quentin. Quentin runs bleeding down the aisle, the killer in hot pursuit.
Help me!
Quentin mounts the stairs and stands in front of the movie screen, pleading to the audience. The killer appears on stage brandishing a knife. The audience cheers them on, believing them to be pretending the parts that are on screen. Quentin backs away terrified. He runs off stage into the adjacent theater with the killer in tow. In the adjacent theater, Quentin and the killer rush on stage in front of the movie screen, which plays Pulp Fiction. On screen, we're at the famous scene where Ving Rhames gets butt-fucked by Zeke.
No!
He looks back to the killer, who's unbuttoning his pants. In another theater, Quentin hobbles out on stage, now rubbing his sore butt. He and the killer are now in front of a screen that plays Titanic, Leo's death scene. Quentin and the killer can't help themselves. They both start weeping along with the audience. Quentin hands the killer a hanky, and they give each other a consoling hug. The killer blows his nose and dries his eyes, and the pursuit continues. On another theater, Quentin runs in front of the movie screen, which plays Braveheart. He looks up at the screen as Mel Gibson is about to be disemboweled.
Oh, shit.
The killer appears on stage, brandishing his own meat hook. At the back of the theater, Cindy rushes in and sees Quentin and the killer on stage. She's the only one who realizes it's not an act. She races to the front of the theater. Back on stage, coinciding with the action on screen, the killer pulls out Quentin's intestines like a magician pulling out an endless rope from a hat. Quentin collapses in a bloody heap as the killer stands over him, on two moviegoers watching the action.
Whoa, they really get into it.
Yeah, but the blood looks fake.
The killer looks up to see Cindy rushing on stage.
Oh my God, he killed Quentin. You bastard.
The killer flees off stage and Cindy chases after him. Behind the screen, Cindy rushes off stage to find Tim Tingle standing there with a knife in one hand and a Casper mask in the other.
Tim Tingle.
Tim quickly drops the knife and mask and escapes out the emergency exit. Time lapse outside the movie theater. The place is now a full crime scene. Yellow police tape, flashing lights from the squad cars and ambulances. Sheriff Duty directs the police to dust for fingerprints and snap crime scene photos. A news van pulls up with Courtney Cox and her cameraman. Courtney surveys the scene.
Let's go.
They grab their gear and exit the van. On the squad car, Cindy sits in the back wrapped in a blanket. She shivers, obviously in deep shock. Sheriff Duty stands by.
Don't worry. We'll find him. I've got all my men on it. What were you kids doing here anyway?
We came.
She looks at him, wanting to tell him everything, but knowing she can't.
Just to see the movie.
He stares at her skeptically. A beat.
Right.
The The paramedics carry Quentin out on a stretcher, zipped up in a body bag. Courtney Cox swoops in to film the proceedings.
Get those cameras out of here.
Behind him, we see the paramedics trying to load Quentin in the back of the ambulance. Bam! They miss the door, bashing him against the fender. Another cop hands Sheriff Duty a foamy cup of coffee, which he drinks.
Oh, yes.
Sorry. Aren't you a little young to be in charge of homicide investigations, Sheriff?
He lowers the cup of coffee, revealing a milk mustache.
I resent that.
Cut to exterior Kevin Williamson High School morning. A swarm of media has converged on the school, dozens of reporters broadcast into cameras. Among them, we feature Courtney Cox.
This is Courtney Cox live from Kevin Williamson's High. Until his young life was cut short, Quentin Green was a student here. He was murdered last night by a man wearing this mask.
He holds up a Casper mask.
The suspect, Tim Tingle, is still at large. Tensions are high as panic has set in at this once peaceful high school.
She grabs a passing student to interview him.
Are you worried that you could be the next victim?
Not really. Police said they have the place pretty well protected and
And you bought that crap? He could be anywhere. He could be stalking you right now.
Student looks around, paranoid and scared.
you're right.
She drops his books and runs off screaming.
As you can see, fear is rampant.
Skeet and Cindy pull into the parking lot in Skeet's car. The crush of media spots them. They rush over to the car with cries of, "There she is!" Courtney grabs her cameraman.
Let's go.
In the car, Skeet and Cindy watch as the media clamor around the car, banging on the windows to cries of, "Cindy! Cindy!"
Why can't they just leave me alone?
Hang on.
Screech! Skeet floors it and drives away from the media. He looks in the rearview mirror and spots Courtney Cox running behind the car with her microphone. As if she were the cyborg cop in Terminator 2, Courtney runs with superhuman speed and catches up with the car. She reaches out and stabs the trunk with her microphone, gaining a handhold, and then uses it to pull herself onto the speeding car. She climbs over the roof and lays down on the hood, and now staring through the windshield at Skeet and Cindy.
Get off my car.
He makes sharp turns, trying to get her off. She sticks her microphone in Cindy's window.
Cindy, you give me an exclusive. I can get you big bucks.
Skeet drives through the driver's ed obstacle course, trying frantically to shake her. He screeches around the cones, but still she hangs on.
Come on, Cindy.
Cindy finally leans over and presses the wiper fluid button. Wiper fluid shoots up into Courtney's face.
Ah, my eyes.
She goes flying off the hood and lands with a thud. Skeet and Cindy drive off to the back entrance of the school. No sign of reporters. As they exit the car, Jake and Buffy approach. Inside the high school, the banner reads "Annual Halloween Party 2 days away." The 4 teens huddle under a stairwell out of earshot.
I can't lie anymore. I'm gonna tell Sheriff Duty everything.
You talk and I will kill you myself.
Hey,
Skeet grabs Jake, who shrugs him off.
And that goes for all of you. I'll take my chance with that psycho. If he wants a piece of me, he can bring it on. But I ain't going to jail.
He stares them all down meaningfully.
You got it?
They nod in silent intimidation.
If you'll excuse me, I don't want to be late for my home ec class. Today we're making Loganberry scones.
The bell rings and everyone goes their separate ways. Cut to interior classroom day. Cindy sits at her desk looking pale and skittish. The terror and pressure are getting to her. Her English teacher is in mid-lecture.
Your choices for book reports include To Kill a Mockingbird, The Killing Fields, A Time to Kill, Death of a Salesman.
Cindy covers her face. The room is spinning. She gets up and rushes out of the classroom.
Cindy. Cindy.
In the hallway, Cindy leans against a wall, hyperventilating. She catches her breath and walks down the hall. She turns a corner and, boo! Not one but 2 Casper killers jump out at her. Cindy screams in terror. The 2 take off their masks to reveal their students playing a practical joke. They laugh at her.
Real funny, assholes. You didn't scare me.
We pan down to reveal she's standing in a puddle of her own urine. Hey, you 2! Principal Fonzy comes up and grabs the masks out of the 2 pranksters' hands. Is this your idea of a sick joke?
Well, yeah.
The other prankster nods. Both of you are expelled. You get out of here. The two pranksters jump up and give each other high fives.
All right, no school.
Yeah! Let's go get drunk and do some vandalism.
Yeah, vandalism.
Cindy, I want to see you in my office. Cut to interior, Principal Fonzy's office day. Principal Fonzy and Cindy enter. Cindy, I'm concerned. I know this has been hard on you, but your grades have been slipping and you've been missing class. Let's talk. He leads her to a black therapist couch. She reclines as he pulls up a chair and takes out a notepad. So what's bothering you?
Well, I have trouble sleeping at night. I keep having the same nightmare.
Dissolve to interior slaughterhouse, her nightmare. In a parody of the Marilyn Manson music video Sweet Dreams, we see Cindy dressed as Marilyn singing.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?
She wears gothic makeup, jet black hair, and multicolored contact lenses. She rides a pig with a saddle.
And just as I'm singing and riding that pig, there comes Mom.
Fade to white. In a dreamlike setting, we see different vignettes of Cindy and her mom, Joan Campbell, mid-30s, pretty and motherly. On a playground, Joan pushes Cindy on a swing. They smile to each other as Joan pushes her higher and higher. Joan pushes her too high, flinging her off of the swing and into oncoming traffic. We hear a crash as we fade to, in the kitchen, Joan and Cindy bake together pot brownies. We fade to, in a rocking chair, Joan cradles Cindy, who breastfeeds, at age 16. The dream turns into a nightmare as we fade to the killer, standing over Joan's bloody corpse. Cindy screams, but no sound comes out of her mouth. Just as she tries to unmask the killer, her dead mother speaks.
Cindy, don't take off the mask. Don't take off the mask.
Dissolve out on Cindy as she comes out of the dream.
Don't take off the mask. Don't take off the mask.
Behind her, Principal Fonzy is asleep, snoring away. Suddenly, Sheriff Duty appears in the doorway.
Sheriff Duty?
Cindy, I'm going to have to ask you to come with me.
No, Wonka.
No.
As they walk off, Principal Fonzy opens his eyes. He's been pretend sleeping. He puts on the confiscated Casper mask and peers after them. Cut to interior police station day. Sheriff Duty leads Cindy into the lineup room.
We picked Tingle up just outside of town. We need you to make a positive ID.
In the lineup room, they all stand behind a one-way mirror looking through the glass at the suspect lineup. Tingle stands at the center between 5 suspects, a fat guy, black guy, red-headed guy, effeminate guy, and a tall guy. Sheriff Duty presses the intercom to talk to the suspects.
Step forward.
The suspects do. Cindy studies them.
Not sure. It happened so fast.
Turn to the left.
The suspects turn in unison.
Take your time. Turn to the right.
Suspects turn in unison. A nearby cop turns up the volume on a transistor radio. From the radio, we hear Joe Cocker's "You Can Leave Your Hat On."
Baby, take off your clothes.
The suspects begin to do a strip tease, a la the Full Monty. As they dance and strip to the music, we reveal one guy wearing women's underwear and a garter belt, and another with man breasts. Finally, they're left standing in their underwear, gearing up for the big finale. As the song ends, they turn in unison and whip off their underwear. They stand resplendent in the nude. Panning from behind the suspects, we see their bare butts. Close on Tingle's butt. The head of his penis pokes through just as if he has tucked his dick between his legs.
That's him. Number 3.
Good luck.
The one pulling the vagina.
Take him away.
Guards come from either side and escort Tingle out. He struggles against them, eerily staring right at Cindy through the glass.
I swear I didn't do it. I was set up.
They lead him away. Cindy hugs Sheriff Duty gratefully. Cut to exterior police station day. Sheriff Duty stands on the front steps talking to the press, who shove microphones and cameras in his face. Courtney Cox jostles her way to the front.
Sheriff Duty, what can you tell us?
Well, I'm a Secturus, 26, born in Rancho Cucamonga.
Curious, Travis. Jesus Christ.
Sagittarius? Okay.
Yeah, that too.
But what about the case?
Well, after a positive ID, Tim Tingle has been arrested and charged with murder. Our community can now rest easy. We got our man. No more questions.
He walks off, and Courtney puts down her mic and follows him.
I guess I was wrong about you. That's some police work.
Thanks.
Maybe you and me could get together sometime and
Go on a date?
well, I was gonna say fuck, but I guess we could go out too.
They walk off together. Cut to interior Cindy's bathroom night. Cindy sits at the edge of her bathtub wearing only a towel. She adds bubble bath to running water. She lights candles, incense, and a menorah. She drops her towel and steps into the sudsy bath. She leans back and gives a deep sigh of relaxation. The phone rings, startling her. She eyes the phone anxiously. Ring. She picks up.
Hello?
Hello, Cindy.
Who is this?
It's me, Skeet, your boyfriend.
She sighs, then grabs a razor and leans back to shave her legs.
Sorry, I guess I'm just a little tired.
Do you want me to come by?
She shaves her armpits.
No, I'm just gonna take a bath and go to sleep.
She shaves her face.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
She hangs up, then relaxes back in the tub, closing her eyes in tranquility. Bloop, bloop. Two of Cindy's fart bubbles rise to the surface of the water. She's in deep relaxation. A beat. The phone rings, startling her again. She picks it up warily.
Skeet, I told you, I'm just too tired.
Hello, Cindy. Miss me? Cindy stares straight up in terror at the recognition of the scary voice. It's the same one from the first scene. The bubbles form a perfect two-piece bikini over her, including straps and a bow.
But I thought...
That I was arrested? Wrong. She listens in horror. I'm going to... Click. Her call waiting sounds.
That's my other line. Can you hold on a second?
Okay. She clicks over.
Hello?
Still me.
Oh, sorry, hang on.
She clicks over.
Hello?
Me again.
Hang on.
She clicks over.
Hello?
Yeah, it's me. I'm still here.
Um,
I could call you back.
could you?
Yeah, but I'm still gonna kill you. All right, bye. He hangs up. She looks at the phone in horror. It's not over. Cut to exterior high school football field day. It's the big game. The marching band plays to the bleachers packed with students who watch the action on the field. On the field, a heated football game is underway, featuring Jake as the home team quarterback. He fades back and throws a pass over the middle. His receiver goes up for the ball. Crunch! The receiver is hit in midair and lands headfirst on the turf. He lies there in pain as the home team crowd holds its breath in anticipation. A beat. The receiver finally gets up as the home crowd applauds. As he trots off the field, waving to the crowd, we see his spine poking through his uniform. On two sportscasters sitting on the sideline booth, giving us a play-by-play. What a game!
You said it. It all comes down to this play.
On the bleachers, we feature Cindy and Skeet watching the game.
I'm telling you, I know that voice.
It's not him. He's in jail. It was probably just a crank call.
A vendor walks down the aisle with a concession tray around his neck.
Peanuts, hot dogs, candy apples.
A drug dealer walks down another aisle, also with a concession tray around his neck, only his contains narcotics.
Cocaine, mushrooms, crack.
A student shouts out.
I'll take a bag of crack.
The drug dealer tosses the student a crack rock in a plastic baggie as if he were tossing a bag of peanuts. Back on Cindy and Skeet.
You think I'm paranoid, don't you?
She nervously swigs a bottle of tequila and chain smokes.
No, I don't. I'm going to get some nachos. You want anything?
No thanks.
He exits. Back on the field in the huddle, Jake pats the receiver on the butt.
Nice catch.
The receiver turns and pats the lineman on the butt.
Nice block.
Lineman turns and pats a running back on the butt.
Nice ass.
On the bleachers, Cindy looks around for Skeet, who's nowhere in sight. Back in the huddle,
All right. Weak side eye formation on 3. Ready, break.
they clap hands and come to the line. The beefy offensive and defensive linemen digging against each other, snorting and growling. We even hear a moo of a cow. Jake lines up under the center and calls for the ball.
Down, set.
He looks across the defense. To his horror, one defensive linebacker has the Casper mask on, under his helmet. The killer has disguised himself as a football player, right down to the number on his jersey, 666.
Holy shit.
The center shrugs and hikes the ball anyway. Smash! The two lines collide, helmet to helmet. The killer rushes towards Jake, but is blocked by an offensive lineman. The killer whips out a jagged knife, and the offensive lineman immediately backs up.
Hey, it's all you, man.
The killer now has a free path to Jake, and he runs straight for him, brandishing the knife. Sportscasters. Oh, number 666 is slicing his way through those blockers.
He really wants to kill the quarterback.
In the stands, the home team does the tomahawk chop, but instead of styrofoam hatchets, they use styrofoam replicas of the killer's dagger. On the marching band, they now play the theme from Halloween. On the field, Jake looks over his shoulder to see the killer now riding a lawnmower, still in hot pursuit. Jake runs into the opposing end zone, scoring a touchdown. The home crowd boos the touchback. The killer catches up to Jake.
No.
The killer runs over Jake, sending his blood and guts flying out the other side of the mower. Oh, that'll make the highlight reel.
Let's see that again in slow motion.
Jump cut to Jake's death scene played again, but this time in slow motion. In the background, we see a crew of gardeners with leaf blowers cleaning up Jake's remains. Back to real time on the killer, who celebrates their murder by doing an elaborate end zone dance, a backflip, the splits, then a cartwheel. The referee blows his whistle, and the killer escapes. Cut to exterior high school night. A candlelight vigil is being held. Dozens of students, teachers, and parents mourn. We pan across some students holding candles, some flicking lighters, then finally, some setting library books on fire. Some hold signs that read, "We'll miss you, Quentin," "Remember Jake," and finally, "Legalize hemp." Among the sorrowful crowd, we feature Cindy and Skeet holding their own candles. Courtney Cox stands by with her cameraman. She rubs an onion into her eyes to manufacture tears.
You're on. This is Courtney Cox, live from Kevin Williamson's High, where a candlelit vigil is underway for student Quentin Green and Jake Schroeder. Let's see if we can get a word with one of the boarders.
She interviews a nearby elderly man, Mr. Curtis.
Excuse me, sir. What's your name?
Mr. Curtis, I teach math.
What are your memories of Quentin?
I had him in geometry. He used to sit in the back of class pretending to read his textbook, but I knew he had a copy of Jugs between the pages. Forgive me. I'm gonna miss that horny little bastard.
He walks off in tears. Courtney turns back into the lens, and now we see a giant herpes sore on her upper lip.
Touching words from one of the many grief-stricken who've turned out tonight. And yet, underneath the sadness, there still lurks a widespread fear. The killing is not over. Sheriff Duty.
She points her camera and mic to his face.
Are the killings related?
Sheriff Duty turns to the camera, and we see he also has a giant herpes sore on his upper lip, matching Courtney's.
Yes. Charges were dropped against Tim Tingle. The suspect was arrested yesterday. His alibi checked out. Our investigation has led us to believe that whoever killed Quentin also killed Jake.
The cameraman turns the lens to Principal Fonzy, who addresses the crowd of mourners. In honor of our departed students, I'd like to share a poem by a young man who was also cut down in his prime, the late rapper Tupac Shakur. He takes out cue cards and puts on his reading glasses. Told my mama if I die, put a blunt in my casket so my homies can get high. On Cindy and Skeet, she's so saddened that she loses it and drops her candle and rushes off.
Hey, where you going?
He catches up and grabs her.
I can't live with this anymore. The guilt, pressure. I'm going to confess.
She breaks his hold.
Hang on.
She rushes off toward Sheriff Duty.
Sheriff Duty, I need to talk to you. It's about time, Tingle. Last Halloween, his brother.
Tim Tingle is dead.
What?
We executed him this morning. Lethal injection.
But he was innocent.
I'm not going to quibble over technicalities.
Cindy pulls Skeet aside.
Listen, Tingle's dead. He was the only one who could have known about it. The secret died with him. Just let it go. We're the only ones who know about it.
A beat. She looks up at him in dread.
And Buffy.
They rush off, passing Principal Fonzy. 'Cause you'll always be my homie for life. Cut to interior school auditorium night. A banner reads, Homecoming Ceremony. The audience is filled with students. On stage, the 3 finalists, Buffy, Danielle, and Heather, wear evening gowns with ribbons draped across them. Heather's ribbon reads Miss Universe, Danielle's reads Miss Congeniality, Buffy's reads Miss Fellatio. The host, Chuck Woolery, wearing a tuxedo, addresses the crowd.
And this year's Kevin Williamson High homecoming queen is
Drumroll sounds.
Buffy Michelle Gellar.
The audience applauds.
Oh my God!
Heather and Danielle hug Buffy and congratulations.
Congratulations, Buffy.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Yeah, I know you two are just being phony bitches, but thanks.
Chuck Woolery places a bouquet of roses in her hand, and a tiara on her head. He kisses her on both cheeks, then whispers into her ear.
Remember the deal.
He hands her a room key, then gives her ass a squeeze.
Here she comes, Miss Kevin Williamson High.
She walks to center stage, blowing kisses and waving to the crowd. The audience tosses roses at her, then they toss rose vases. Smash, crash. She smiles and waves as the vases shatter against her head.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Outside, Cindy and Skeet rush up and yank on the auditorium doors. They're locked.
It's locked.
I'll go run the back. You wait here.
He rushes off. Back inside, as Buffy stands in her moment of glory, we pan to the wings. In the wings, the killer lurks. He holds a rope tied to a bucket labeled Pig's Blood. The bucket is perched atop the rafters directly over Buffy's head, a la Carrie. He pulls the rope, tipping the bucket. Splash. On Buffy, the pig's blood douses her as the audience gasps. She holds up her blood-dripped hands and screams.
Ah! Yeah, that was terrible.
She collapses in a chair. A beat. Splash, splash, splash. 3 more buckets douse her like Jennifer Beals in Flashdance. The song What's a Feeling comes up as she jogs in place in a puddle of blood, trying to get it off of her. Terrified, she looks back to see the killer in the wings, brandishing a knife.
Oh.
She crawls down the runway, swinging her head from side to side, whipping blood into the air into the crowd. The male members of the crowd throw $1 bills at her as if she's a stripper.
Someone, please help me.
Outside, Cindy bangs on the locked door.
Open up!
Back inside, Cindy crawls to the edge of the stage, checking behind her for the killer. She turns back and screams. She's face to face with the killer. He's on the center stage floor prompter pit. He grabs her arms and bam, bumps her head as he pulls her onto the stage.
No!
The audience looks around confused. Where'd she go? From under the floor, we hear the agonizing screams of Buffy getting slaughtered.
Stop! Help! No!
You hear the sounds of bones crunching and flesh tearing. The audience members, freaked out, head for the exits, but the doors are all locked. On Buffy, as she staggers out of the pit, she's gushing blood from her stab wounds like fire hoses. The audience spots her and screech in horror. She opens her mouth and whoosh, blood shoots out of her like an open dam. Whoosh, whoosh, blood spurts out of her eyes, nose, then ears. Blood now shoots out of her in ridiculous torrents, making her look like a human sprinkler. The crowd slips on her blood as they frantically pound on the locked doors. The blood fills the auditorium, ankle deep. Outside, Cindy tries to pry the door open with a crowbar to no avail. She then puts on a welder's mask and blowtorches, and then, finally, a jackhammer. Suddenly, blood seeps through the door jamb.
What the?
Inside, the place is now filled with blood like a water tank. Students swim around, some even have scuba gear. Boom! The doors finally burst open and blood floods out in a big wave. Outside, blood splashes over Cindy as students wash out of the auditorium. The auditorium drains, leaving Buffy to beach on the front steps. Cindy rushes to her.
Me.
Buffy's a bloody mess, but still alive.
Killer is.
Cindy leans in closer, and Buffy whispers it to her.
Wait, I can't hear you.
Cindy takes off her Walkman headphones.
Buffy? Who's the killer? Buffy! Buffy!
Just then, Skeet appears.
Skeet, Buffy's dead. Where have you been?
I was looking for the back entrance, but I couldn't find it.
She looks past him to see 3 flashing neon exit signs. She frowns suspiciously. Cut to exterior Cindy's house, night. Skeet and Cindy pull up. She looks at him, a tense beat.
And then there were 2.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. I promise. Just stay inside and lock your doors. I'll pick you up in the morning.
She exits. He drives off, his car radio blaring Oingo Boingo's Dead Man's Party. Cut to interior living room, night. Cindy's on the couch watching TV, and all that's on is late-night infomercials. On the TV, Pinhead from Hellraiser lies on a massage table as a Chinese doctor performs acupuncture on him.
Take it from me, Pinhead.
He stands up wearing a towel, wearing just a towel as hundreds of needles stick out of his body.
My muscles were tight and tense until I found shiatsu acupuncture.
Cindy changes the channel. The phone rings, startling her. She picks it up apprehensively.
Hello?
Hi, Pumpkin. I heard about your friends dying. Thought you might want to talk.
Thanks, Dad.
You feeling all right?
I'm not sure.
How are you and Skeet doing?
Fine, I guess.
She flips to another infomercial. On the TV, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre cuts through different body parts with a chainsaw.
The new body count buzzsaw from Black & Decker does it all. It cuts through bone, cartilage, and ligaments, and is still sharp enough to slice a tomato. And if you act now, I'll throw in a salad shooter.
She changes the channel.
You know, your mother would have been better about this, but I think it's time we had that talk.
Dad?
Now, I know you're modest, but there's some things you should know. You see, the man's got a
Cock?
that's right, and the woman's got a
Pussy!
Okay, yes, that's correct. So the man and the woman died.
Bump uglies until the man busts a nut.
Boy, the things they teach you in school.
On the TV, another infomercial plays. Michael Meyers from Halloween models his Halloween mask, or his hockey mask.
What? So that's why I used the hockey mask by Remco. It's light, durable, and comes in 3 fashionable colors: white, fuchsia, and hunter green.
She turns it off.
Well, whatever you decide to do with Skeet, I trust your judgment. Gosh, you've grown up so fast. I guess you're not Daddy's little girl anymore.
Oh, Dad. I'll always be your little girl.
Cut to interior Cindy's bedroom, night. Cindy lies asleep in bed. Her door creaks open, waking her. She rubs her eyes and squints to see who's there.
Dad? Is that you?
A shadowy figure approaches.
Dad?
She turns on the lights to reveal, it's the killer! She jumps out of bed as he lunges at her with a knife. She grabs an end table and fends him off like a lion tamer. Crack! She snaps a whip at him. The killer growls at her as he stabs at the end table, sending wood chips everywhere. The sawdust clears to reveal the end table is now carved into Rodin's The Thinker. She runs off into the kitchen with the killer in pursuit. In the kitchen, she dumps out a drawer filled with kitchen utensils. She picks up a knife and throws it at the killer, who ducks. Meow! The knife misses and stabs her cat, pinning it to the wall.
Oh no, Fluffy!
She looks through the remaining utensils. No knives. So instead, she throws a spatula, turkey baster, and an egg beater at the killer. They miss, but stick into the wall behind as if they were knives. She cowers as the killer raises the knife over her. Just as he's about to stab her, she tosses a glass of water at him. Splash! She throws a plugged toaster at him, hitting his now wet clothes. Zap! Zip! Zee! Electrical jolts shoot across the killer's body, causing him to convulse and gyrate. Hip-hop music up. The killer's twitching body starts to breakdance in time with the beat. Zap! Zap! The jolts cause him to do an elaborate hip-hop moves. He does the worm, pop locks, and even windmills on his head. Finally, he collapses dead. Cindy approaches the body slowly, and when she reaches down to take off the mask, the killer is Cotton Blend.
Blend!
Cut to exterior Cindy's house night. The place is now a full crime scene. Cops, media, etc. Sheriff Duty stands with his arms around Cindy addressing the press.
Thanks to the heroics of Cindy here, the serial murderer was killed. Our community can now rest easy. We got our man.
Courtney Cox jostles for position.
Didn't you say that the last time?
Yeah, but this time I really mean it.
Courtney turns to her cameraman.
And there you have it. In an ironic twist, Cotton Blend, the man who murdered Joan Campbell, was killed by her daughter, Cindy Campbell. This is Courtney Cox signing off. Remember, if it's murder, kitty porn, or animal husbandry, I'll bring you the story first.
Fade out. Superimposed October 31st, 1998, Halloween. Fade in exterior suburban home night. The house is decorated for Halloween. Jack-o'-lanterns, orange and black streamers, etc. Dozens of cars are parked haphazardly on the lawn as teenagers enter the house party. Skeet and Cindy enter. In the house, a raucous party in full swing. Loud music, dancing, drinking. On three drunken dudes, one chugs a beer, then crunches it against his forehead. The next chugs a bottle, then smashes it over his head. The third finishes off a keg, then clangs it on into his own head, knocking himself out.
What a party.
Yeah. I'm feeling like I finally have closure, that everything bad's behind me. It's amazing that all the killing ended with still 20 minutes left in the movie.
They pass one guy snorting a line of coke. Another guy dumps out a line of Comet Cleaner and snorts that.
Skeet, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Throughout all this, you've been there for me.
Hey, I love you.
And I love you too. And tonight, I'm gonna prove it.
She takes his hand and leads him upstairs. They pass a girl who's beer bonging. Just as she drains the beer out of the funnel, a drunken dude about to vomit upchucks into the funnel.
Chug, 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 chug.
She drinks down the now chunky beer. Upstairs in the bedroom, Skeet and Cindy lie in the bed making out. He gets her bra off and looks at her breasts.
Ow. A superfluous nipple. How sexy.
On her breast with not one, but two nipples. They continue to make out. He tries to take off her panties, but struggles.
Here, let me.
His eyes gleam with heated anticipation as she lowers her panties. Oof! Her enormous bush of pubic hair fills the screen. We hear the primitive sounds of the call of the wild emanating from the untamed forest. He whips out a machete and thwack! He slashes at the bush. He pulls back the blade to find it's dented. He needs something sharper. He pulls on protective goggles and fires up a weed whacker. Burp! He trims her bush as pubes fly everywhere. He gets on top of her, kissing his way down below the border. Cindy arcs her back and moans in delight. A beat. Skeet comes back up, now wearing full scuba gear, tank, snorkel, mask, fins. He takes off the mask and liquid pours out.
I love you.
I promise. I'll try not to prematurely ejaculate.
He mounts her and thrusts in.
That's not it.
Sorry.
He thrusts in again.
Still not it.
Finally gets it right, and they make beautiful love.
Oh, Skeet, you've unleashed the woman in me.
She climbs on top of him and rides him hard. His smile turns to a frown as she rides him harder and harder, really getting into it. Downstairs, the partygoers look up as the ceiling thumps, cracks, and crumbles from the action in the bedroom. Back in the bedroom, Skeet hangs on for dear life as Cindy sits on him, spinning around him like a human sit and spin.
Whee!
Time lapse on Cindy, sleeping in bed. She wakes to find Skeet gone.
Skeet.
She gets out of bed and puts her clothes on.
Skeet.
She ventures down the hall.
Skeet. Where are you?
Downstairs, Cindy descends the stairs and screams at what she sees.
Ah!
Everyone at the party has been killed. One is hanging by a noose, one is fried on an electric chair, another is guillotined, while another is stretched out on a medieval rack. Cindy walks terrified through the bodies. She spots Skeet lying dead in a pool of blood. She looks in horror to see her dad, also lying there dead. She weeps in terror over the bodies. Among them we feature Principal Fonzy, who's also been killed. Ring, ring. The phone rings, startling her. She eyes the phone with mounting dread.
Hello?
Guess who, Cindy? She collapses into a sobbing heap, clutching the phone. Tonight, you're gonna die. Click. He hangs up. Scared, she looks wildly around, but the killer's nowhere in sight. Suddenly, above her, we now reveal the killer lowering himself silently behind her from a ceiling beam. Crack! The beam snaps, and the killer clumsily drops to the ground with a thud. She dashes off down the hall with the killer giving chase. She runs and hides in a closet. In the closet, like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween, she cowers in the corner of the closet. Thwack! Splinter! The killer hacks at the closet door as Sydney screams. Thinking quickly, she grabs a muumuu and throws it over his head, blinding him. She uses the distraction to dash past him, and before she gets away, she stops in her tracks.
No, that's it. I'm tired of running. I'm not gonna be a victim anymore.
She turns and faces the killer.
Come on, whoever you are, let's go.
They square off like two boxers. She raises her dukes. Bam! She socks him in the eye, and now we see a black eye over his mask. Slash! The killer swipes at her, cutting her arm.
You son of a bitch!
Bam! She kicks him so hard in the ass, he actually coughs up her high-heel shoe. They squat like sumo wrestlers, grunting and chalking up their hands. They bump bellies. From behind, we see the killer's cloak is cut out to reveal his sumo-thonged butt. Slash! He cuts her again on the other arm.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you!
Punch, kick, sock. She throws a vicious combo at him. Behind the killer, fecal matter splatters against the wall. She looks around for a weapon. On the wall, an axe in a glass case with a label reading, "In case of fire, break glass." Another case also containing an axe, but this label reading, "In case of homicidal maniac, break glass." Smash. She breaks the glass and grabs the axe. The killer raises his knife, but she's quicker with her axe.
This is for my mom!
Thwack! She hacks off the killer's right arm. Undaunted by the spewing stump, he lunges again.
This is for my dad!
Thwack! She hacks off the killer's left arm. Now armless, he charges her.
This is for Skeet!
Thwack! She hacks off the killer's right leg. Now hopping on one leg, the killer lunges again.
And this is for everyone else you killed and for world peace!
Thwack! She hacks off the killer's last leg, leaving him just a torso and a head. Unfazed by the loss of limbs, the killer scoots at her. Just as she's about to go off on him, he teeters back and tumbles down the staircase. Downstairs, the killer ends at the bottom of the stairs, lying unconscious. Cindy follows and again raises the axe to finish him. Suddenly, two arms grab her from behind. It's Sheriff Duty.
Cindy, he's dead. It's over.
He takes the axe out of her hand. She's in shock.
It's okay. It's over.
Time lapse. Exterior house night. The place is now a huge crime scene. Cops, media, etc. Of course, Courtney Cox is on the scene, broadcasting.
This is Courtney Cox coming to you live with this breaking, shocking, exploitative, sensationalized news.
On Cindy and Sheriff Duty, he consoles her as the coroner wheels the killer out of in a body bag.
Hold it.
The coroner stops.
Don't you want to know who the killer is?
A long beat. Her mom's voice echoes in her head. Cindy, don't take off the mask. Don't take off the mask.
No.
Get him out of here.
Cindy watches distrustfully as the coroner wheels the body into the coroner's van. Suddenly, she lunges for Sheriff Duty's revolver and yanks it from the holster.
Everyone get back!
All the cops draw their guns, then train them on Cindy.
Cindy, put the gun down. You don't want to do this.
I have to.
She grabs Courtney Cox and puts the gun to her head, holding her hostage.
Please, Don't. Keep rolling.
The cops move in and Cindy cocks the gun.
Everyone get back or I'll kill her.
Please, Cindy, don't hurt me. You getting all this?
Just put the gun down.
No.
Then you leave me no choice. Fire.
Huh?
Blam, pow, blast. All the cops open fire, mistakenly shooting Courtney in a hail of bullets.
Hold your fire.
They stop. Courtney drops to the ground, bullet-ridden and bloody. Sydney, unharmed, runs to the van where the killer lies in a body bag in the back. Broom. Sydney hijacks the van, peeling out down the road. On Courtney Cox, she lies bloody and dying. Sheriff Duty kneels by her, cradling her head tenderly.
Hang in there, kid. You're going to make it. They missed all your vital organs.
Cameraman puts down the camera and also kneels by her with tears in his eyes.
Keep rolling, you bastard. This is cold.
She turns to Duty.
Kiss me. Kiss me one last time.
He leans down and kisses her blood-filled mouth. Cut to exterior, dark and windy road. Night. Cindy speeds down the road in the van with a body bag in the back. She winds along the steep cliffs, passing a sign which reads Dawson's River. She looks back in the rearview mirror to see the body bag squirming. The killer still alive. Just then, the killer unzips the body bag with his mouth. He lunges over the seat, trying to bite her jugular.
No!
Screech! She slams on the brakes, sending the killer smashing through the windshield. He lands on the road at 10 feet in front of the van.
Come on. Get up. Get up!
The killer rears up on his torso, still alive. She jams into gear and floors it. Smack! She rams him. She throws it into reverse and crunch! Rolls over him. She repeats this until he lies motionless in the road. Satisfied that he's dead, she collapses against the steering wheel, exhausted. Thud. Cindy looks up to see the killer has jumped onto the hood of the van, holding onto the hood remote with his mouth, still alive.
No! No!
She jams it into gear and aims it for the edge of the cliff. She drives off the edge, and the van goes crashing down to the side of the cliff with the killer still on the hood. On the rocks below, kaboom! The van lands in a fiery heap, exploding on impact. Cindy is thrown from the van, landing on the rocky shore. Cindy is battered, bruised, and generally fucked up. She approaches the killer, who's pinned out of the smoldering van. The killer lifts his head. He's still not dead. She stares at the masked killer.
I have to know. I have to know who you are.
She unmasks the killer to reveal that it's Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart? But why?
I'm trying to change my image.
In a twist, Sydney realizes this too is a mask. She pulls off the Martha Stewart mask to reveal the real killer is Jesus Christ.
Gotta smoke.
Cindy realizes this is also a mask. She pulls off the Jesus mask to reveal
Mom?
the true killer is Joan Campbell, her mother.
But I thought you were dead.
Only clinically. You all buried me alive.
Cindy takes a step back, reeling with the horrible truth.
I came back to take my revenge.
What about Tim Tingle? Cotton Blend?
My lovers.
Slut?
Watch your mouth. I'm still your mother.
Sorry, Mom.
My revenge was almost complete. You were the last.
Tears well in Cindy's eyes.
Oh, Mom?
She picks up the axe and raises it over Joan's head.
See you in hell.
Whack! She lops off her mom's head. Fade out. Superimposed 1 year later. Interior college dormitory day. In the girls' bathroom, Cindy enters wearing a towel and turns on the hot water in the shower stall. Steam envelops the room. She walks to the mirror and takes a hard look at herself.
You survived. You're a survivor.
A beat. She drops her towel, revealing a 12-inch penis dangling between her legs like Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights. As the steam parts, she sees a message written on the mirror. I still know what you did last Halloween. Cindy screams in terror. Fade out. And that is the very different first draft of what would become Scary Movie. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one.